Good morning friends. Today we are going to discuss about the US tariff on the various countries with respect to global trade. As we know that recently on April 2nd, 2025, the President of America, Donald Trump, has imposed the reciprocal tax on various countries' goods and services. When I say reciprocal tax, what is this reciprocal tax? Why the President of America decided to have reciprocal tax on countries like India, countries like China, not only countries like India and China, even other countries? What was the impact of reciprocal tax? Is that any positive impact or negative impact on Indian economy or the global economy? Is that everyone is predicting about the global depression as like 1930s of America? Is that reality? In reality, is that reciprocal tax may create global impact like global depression as like 1929? That is what we are going to discuss with respect to today's class, that is US tariff and global trade. As we know that after the Trump became the President of America, he started discussing about the trade deficit what America is having with other countries, mainly with China, mainly with India, mainly with European countries. Because of what? The import of America is more than they export it to other countries like China and India. As we know that India and China are the major trading partners of America, as we export various commodities to America, as America is the largest importer of Indian and Chinese goods. This led to criticism by the American president called Donald Trump that India and China and other countries are getting the income or the money of America for their development, that is India and China development, and we are losing the job opportunities also, that is America is losing the job opportunities. And because of the trade deficit with India and China, America is America is having the loss in overall trade. How to tackle this loss in the overall trade? He decided to go for reciprocal tax. Here, when I say reciprocal tax, sir, is that India imposed tax or is it China imposed tax on American goods? Yes. As we know that as India and China are the developing countries, WTO allow India and China to impose more tax on developed countries' goods and services, including America. As India imposed approximately on an average, if you consider with respect to all the goods and services, on an average India imposed 52% of the taxes on American goods, if you consider only India. So that is why as India imposed almost 52% of the tax on American goods, so even America decided to impose approximately half of the tax levied by, average tax levied by India on the American goods, that is approximately 26% of the tariff. Tariff means tax on Indian goods. This has created a tension in Indian market also, not only in Indian market, even the global market also. Because on April 2nd when President Trump announced the reciprocal traffic, the tariff, see, this is what not only on what India, this is on every country. So every country they started discussing about how this tariff is going to affect their economy and the world economy. As we know that the Trump has announced two types of tariff. One is base tariff and second is country specific tariff. What is this base tariff? Assume that base tariff is nothing but, assume that if India is exporting some goods worth of 100 rupees. Earlier, America used to impose some custom duty, the base custom duty. Base tariff means what? Base custom duty. Now he said that with respect to that, assume that he was imposing some 10%. Now he said that extra 10%, if you read this, 10% on all the countries, up from 2.5% from pre-Trump 2.0, which means before the Trump period, that is during the Biden period, it was just 2.5%. Now the base tariff custom duty was 2.5. Now it will be for all the countries, irrespective of the developing country. If you are exporting the goods to America, now the tax will be 10%, custom duty will be 10%. This is first one. Second one is country specific tariff, sir. What is this country specific tariff? Based on, take example, that's what I have started with what? So for India, he went for what? Imposing 26% of the tax. That is country specific tariff. So that is the second one. If you read the other definition, here country specific tariff is what? For Cambodia is going to impose 40%. Bangladesh is going to impose 37%. China is going to impose 34%. India, there is in list we don't find India here, but Overall in the table you will find the India. For European Union it is 20%. For even surplus countries, which means even America is having not deficit, they are having surplus, which means they export more than they import. Countries like UK, even for them also he went for what? Okay, imposing the country specific tariff. Country specific tariff, that is what is in news. This is the table with respect to country specific tariff which you get. Okay, if you read here, okay, for India almost it is, India used to levy average of 52%. Now, okay, America will levy 26%. If you check the China on an average levy 67%, half of it approximately 34% America will impose the tax now. Even in this data you can also check what is the trade deficit what India is having with America, and after imposing, okay, this 26% reciprocal tax, what will be the trade deficit what America will have. Okay, so this is the table which explains about what is the total, okay, reciprocal tax imposed by Donald Trump administration on every economy including India. First one. Second one is this reciprocal tax, what will be the impact of this reciprocal tax on in US economy. First one. The first question is what? When you go for imposing the tax on, more tax on, okay, Indian goods or Chinese goods, the cost of these goods will increase in American market, higher the import cost, because assume that this pen is 100 rupees. Earlier America used to levy some 2.5% or 10% of the tax. Now if he is going for 26% of the tax, earlier the pen price was 110, now the pen price will become 126. So which means what? The pen price will increase. If the pen price, which means whatever the goods, if the price of the goods increases, it leads to inflation. As it leads to inflation, so which means American consumers have to pay more money for getting the same product. If there is an inflation in America, so which means what? It reduces the savings of the household. As the savings of the household reduces, okay, which means they have to pay more money to get the same product. As the savings of the household increases, it reduces their purchasing power. If the purchasing power reduces, okay, it may leads to recession or slowdown in American economy. That is what everyone is predicting. If there is a slowdown in America, okay, or if there is economic crisis in America or recession in America, that will have major impact on every country including India, because already we have seen in 2007-8 when America had a financial crisis because of the subprime crisis. That subprime crisis had a problem with respect to Indian economy also, world economy also, because we started calling 2008-9 we started calling as global financial crisis. That is what everyone is having a fear, that how it is going to impact the world, not only US economy. And second one is what? See, basically because of the high inflation and low growth, okay, in American economy, it may leads to stagflation also. Okay, one is low growth and second is high inflation. Because of the high inflation, people are not ready to buy the goods and services. Okay, it may leads to what? Less economic activities. Because of the less economic activity, the GDP growth rate will be less. So which may, okay, again the government has to spend money, which means the American government has to do the fiscal policy. Through fiscal policy, they have to do some fiscal stimulus packages. Maybe they have to reduce the taxes on companies, or they have to spend more money on infrastructure or other projects so that people will have more money in their hands so that they can spend on it. So that is the impact on US economy. As I told you that it will not have only impact on US economy, it will also have an impact on global economy also and India also. See, how come this will have impact on global? See, it may lead to global war, global trade war. Not global war, it is a global trade war. Sir, how come it leads to global trade war? As you know that already, okay, yesterday, okay, when America announced, on April 2nd, when America announced the reciprocal tariff, yesterday China also said that I am going to increase the tax on American goods. So this may create, okay, in future, okay, even maybe, okay, India may go for increasing further tax on American goods. As of now, Indian government did not take any decision, but in future they may take the decision of what? Increasing the taxes on American goods. So this type of reciprocal tax, okay, may create the trade war between what? America and other countries, which will have larger global impact. First one. Second one, okay, maybe, okay, it will reduce it will create the disruption in the supply chain at the global level. But with respect to India's case, sir, there are positive and negative, okay, with respect to India. Sir, when I say with respect to India, what are the positive and what are the negative? First one, let me explain the negative case, sir. Negative case means what? Sir, Indian producers who export the goods to America, now they have to pay more taxes. If they have to pay more taxes means what? Indian goods will become costlier in American market. If Indian goods will become costlier in American market means people will not buy Indian goods, they go for cheaper goods. American consumers will go for cheaper goods rather than Indian goods. So which means our exporter will not get demand from American market. If our exporter will not get the demand from American market, so they'll get loss. If they get loss, they'll fire the employees in India. If they fire employees in India, our employees will become unemployed. If the unemployed means what? They don't have the purchasing power. If they don't have the purchasing power, there will be a chances of what? Low growth rate in India. This is the negative causes. First one. The second thing is what? If you go for consequences, the positive consequences is what? Sir, the Trump did not impose the taxes only on India. He imposed the taxes on all the countries. Sir, we can utilize this as a positive for India. How? When he imposed more tax on China and other countries' products, when he is imposing less tax on Indian products, sir, the Chinese products will become costlier in America. So the same time, the same product, if India make the product in India and if they export it to America, which will be an advantage for India. So there is a negative consequences also, there is a positive consequences also. We have to think in that way only. As we know that, so this move of the broader economic perspective is what? So this type of move done by Donald Trump or any nationalist leaders like Donald Trump will create further expansion policy or protectionism policy in other developed countries also, because nowadays the developed countries are feeling that they have a feel that all the jobs in the developed countries are taken by developing countries. First one, all the markets of developed countries are captured by developing countries like India and China, Philippines and Indonesia and Bangladesh. So because of that only Donald Trump has started this type of tariff, reciprocal tariff. And just imagine if other developed countries are also started protectionism, which means what? No, we will not allow any developing countries workers to work in our country. Think about the impact in the broader perspective. Maybe India's remittances will reduce, India's export will reduce, India may lose the support from developed countries for technology and other things. It will have larger impact even on India, even on the world economy. Now, sir, if I want to conclude, sir, is this whatever the protectionism mechanism followed by the Donald Trump, is that good? Or is that reciprocal tax imposed by Donald Trump is good? That's why we have to wait for some more days. Why? Because recently India also to please the Donald Trump administration, we also abolished a tax called equalization levy, which was started by government of India in 2016 to levy on foreign digital advertisement companies almost 6% of the equalization levy. Generally the people used to call it as what? Google tax. Like that we abolished that, and we also discussed with Donald Trump administration that how the reciprocal tax is going to affect India, and that is that, that is why somewhere the tax rate is lesser compared to China. But see, it's premature to say that India is going to give negative only because of this reciprocal tax. Just wait, we have to wait for some more days or some more months. Based on that, we can easily say that these are the positive impact and these are the negative impact, and is that we got good or is that we got bad with respect to this reciprocal tax. Thank you. Please do subscribe our Aptiplus YouTube channel.